Alrighty, this is the replay review for P4 Ancient Apparition. Same starting items as last week: Boots, Tango, Observer. Very aggro choice with the boots right off the bat. But I think it ends up working out a lot for us, so it's not a big issue at all.
Now you're
Of course, the only correct choice, I would usually have the Chilling Touch on autocast if just so that you have that extra half second if you run into somebody and your attack moving. So what I mean by that is, like, you're kind of in this area and you're clicking, and I can tell you're right clicking because it has a green indicator when you do that move command. If you were giving attack commands, those would be in red instead of green. And so these move commands are okay, but then when somebody comes in range, like let's say someone is right here on the edge of this fog. If someone comes over at the edge of this fog as you guys are all running this way and you have a move indicator, your character is just going to keep moving in this direction. If someone breaks out of this fog right in front of your face and you have an attack indicator going, your character is going to immediately stop as soon as they break smoke and right click them. And so you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to be looking at the screen. You could be way off somewhere else. Your eyes could be focused on something. But as soon as an enemy hero breaks fog in front of you, you're just going to stop what you're doing and right click them. And so that way, if you had Chilling Touch on autocast, it also slows them, which then means the rest of your team who aren't paying attention have that extra half second to also use that slow to then stop moving in this direction and also turn the other way. So I would definitely put this on autocast and then put this as an attack move command. So the first guy that comes out of the smoke, you immediately slow. Alright, for that. Everyone here should have an attack command. Good though. A lot of harass on this guy. And I remember he ends up getting away. And so we all go back to our lines. Interesting ward position. That's alright. So I'm not really sure about the value of this ward early game. So you're going to see if someone, I guess, comes around this corner here to recontest this rune. This has no value to courier snipe. It doesn't give the mid laner any vision over whether someone's coming to gank, because they're not going to come back through this triangle. Usually they're going to come along the river, or they're going to walk through the enemy jungle to hit them from the backside. So I'm really not sure about this observer ward here. This seems kind of odd to me. I feel like you could have gotten more value from that observer by putting it somewhere else. Unless our mid player is going to be diving their jungle to try and chase the enemy mid after he bullies them out of lane, which would be pretty impressive. But I feel like that's probably not going to happen. Alright, so we're going back to lane. Mars is already TP'd or something, so he's trying to block. Missing it, that's fine. You're looking at mid. I'm not sure why, but okay. Coming up to lane again. Not much going on here. Throw your harass. Okay. There's a double deny attempt. It's not a big deal. So this is one of those waves where if you're not going for hits, okay. So in that sort of span of time, you didn't go for any of the last hits. You did go for a deny, but the Mars had that one. And then there were some free last hits that Mars could get to as a melee hero, and you could have tried for as a range, especially with your damage buff, and you missed. So if you're using the Chilling Touch as a nuke, that's good. But there's also a lot to be said for using it as a range creep secure early on. So you didn't get that deny. Slark starts right prepping that creep, and that's when you should have turned for that one. And then this one starts to get denied, and you missed that one too. So if you're going to stay in the lane with the Mars and leech some of that XP, I would definitely go for more harass or more creep securing when they're going for denies. So Ogre is probably not the better of the two targets. So Ogre has 70 armor, and he's got, 5 health regen. So Slark only has 3 armor and he's got 4 regen. So you definitely want to right click, just like in the previous video I was talking about. Dazzle ended up right clicking the axe instead of the Winter Wyvern. The whole lane ended up harassing the axe, and it did nothing because axe had too much regen, and it was basically wasting the Dazzle's time. This way I would say it's reversed, and so in this case the core is, or no, in this case it's the the situation is reversed where the core is the weaker of the supports, especially early on, and so you want to put all your harass on the Slark, unlike the Dazzle, who should have put all of his harass on the Winter Wyvern. In this case, because the Ogre's so tanky, just save those nukes for the Slark or for range creep secures. Alright, a lot of good arrests on the Slark though there. What's going on here? I'm watching from Slark's perspective. Okay. Alright, so you're doing your thing. This is the timing for a pull. Unfortunately, that guy's in the way. So kill that creep. There you go. Okay, and then you can bring this and connect. That's really good if that works. That's fine that it didn't. Throw your nuke on that Slark. There you go. And then get out of XP range. So you've thrown your nuke, you've got a 15-second cooldown, and then for the rest of this time here, you're not really doing much. The ogres stand way over here, and by staying over here, this distance from like this creep all the way over to like this back area behind the trees, that's outside of XP range. You are well inside of XP range, and so the Slark is going to progress in levels and experience faster than the Mars, and you're going to get levels of experience too, but in this case the Mars really needs to keep up with the Slark. So you splitting the experience with him when you don't have a nuke and when you're not denying creeps is not fantastic. So it's better for you to go chase the ogre and contest his safe lane pull. You didn't buy, that's interesting, so that's a little weird there. There's a free last hit here that Mars couldn't get, and you ended up prioritizing a little bit of damage on the Slark, which is okay, but I would definitely send one of these hits for the creep. So right here, Mars decides he's going to bother this guy. This creep right here is yours. Mars has decided for whatever reason he's going way out to do his own thing. This creep is going to die, and you're still going to get the experience, but you need to get the last hit. So that's good. You got a hit. Mars doesn't have stun yet, so all he can do is nuke him once like that, and then you can nuke him, in 3 seconds when you get your chilling touch, which you're not going to get, and even if you did, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But you got to get those free last hits. So if you're going to stay in the lane and leech, then when Mars doesn't want one for some reason, that's your cue to take it from him. Good pull. That works out. You definitely want a Sentry Ward to block the Ogre's pulls though. You can tell that Ogre's pulling at this point. That's a shame. If Mars hit that stun correctly, that would have been good for you guys. That's your last hit right there. Okay. That's your deny. Good. And these are your denies. You should start power denying that first creep. As soon as it happens, yeah, there you go. Now you're going to miss it. Okay, so you missed the denying if someone was in range. So Slark was probably in range, considering how close that was. So you gave him the XP from that creep. Alright, now start right-clicking the ogre. Yep. Ogre, right-click ogre, right-click ogre. So you walked like extra far for some reason. When you're 2v1 like that, that's your chance to actually hurt the ogre a little bit. Okay, good harass. Problem with the harass is you scared him away, so now he's going to drag that creep back to tower. It would have been better to wait until he got that creep low enough to deny, and then denied it, and then followed with harass. No reason to right click here. No reason for you to do that. Mars is holding these creeps in this area specifically to keep them outside of the tower, so the more damage you do to it, the worse it is. Okay, good harass on the Slark. Help deny this creep since it's going to be difficult for the Mars to get to it. Okay. Deny that range creep, deny the range creep. Okay, so right there, that was a big opportunity. Nothing was happening, and you had to deny the range creep with Mars. For some reason, he saw that it was starting to get low. So Mars gets this one, you're a little out of range for that, that's fine. Nothing else is happening, you don't have your nuke for a little bit. So we're all just kind of hanging out. This range creep right here starts to get low. As soon as you see this range creep start to get low like this, and both these heroes are melee heroes that are far away, you need to make sure that you guys nuke this and deny it so they don't get the XP right here. So this was a free opportunity for you to right-click that range creep right there and deny it. But instead, now they both got experience from it. And you didn't even like right-click in that time. You kind of walked up towards them and then did nothing. I think that's why Slark is laughing. It doesn't make any other sense for Slark to laugh there, other than missing the deny. Right there, that deny, you gotta help with those denies. Alright, nuke that. Okay, no. That's interesting. So I don't know why you didn't nuke the courier. Maybe you know better. Maybe it's not enough damage or something, but I would have tried to nuke the courier and then don't block that. You really got to go block the enemy safe camp, or deward this if you see this doesn't spawn. So if this doesn't spawn right now, okay, this is blocked, you need to immediately buy a sentry. Good stuff, one of each. Raindrops and whatever, okay. But the entire time, so what happened right there is you did check this camp. You saw that that was blocked, but the problem is this entire time Mars has been power farming right here. He's been getting every last hit, every deny. Nothing's going on. Ogre is up here doing his thing where he's pulling in the camp, and then Slark is just hanging out to leech. So Slark is getting his XP from these, other than what the the Mars is leaving him as leftovers from the denies. But the problem is you hanging out here in this kind of area doing nothing just means you're taking half of Mars XP. So it's nice for you that you're level 3, but the problem is you're making it harder for the Mars to beat the Slark in lane and shut the Slark down by you taking 50% of the level. So the P4 should really try not to take as much XP as the P3. So while you're doing this, yeah, it was good that you checked this and you bought your sentries and stuff, but you should be playing kind of over in this area. You want to be soaking half of the XP when the enemy creep comes in and starts to nuke the small camp, and then maybe try and get some of these last hits, and then if the ogre chases you, you trade with him, you get away, whatever. But your game is over here right now, so this is like your realm where you should be focusing and playing. This is a pure one-on-one that Mars can handle by himself, especially in a matchup like this. Alright, back to player perspective. Alright, some good harassing. Slark is dropping a little low. Ogre has to come back. That's great. Good nuke on the Slark. He's still low. Running really far. I don't know if you're about to... Well, you still don't have the sentry to do ward, so it can't. That's a waste of mana. So that hit right there wasn't even worth the mana. Ogre's going to regen that in like the next 5 seconds, and you will have completely wasted that mana for nothing. So yeah, Ogre is basically back up to full health, other than trade with the Mars. Hits on the Slark are good though. Slark doesn't have nearly as much regen as the Ogre. Okay, interesting choice. So you put it up there. No dewarding of the camp. So a moment ago, you went to this hard camp down here, and you actually looked at it before and after the 4-minute mark, and you know that it was warded because it didn't respawn at 4 minutes, and you still decided to place your sentry up here. So I'm not sure about that. That seems like a big mistake to me. The observer here in this little pathway, you basically get to see down this alley here. Mars doesn't really need that. There's no like pudge or something that's gonna, I don't even know like what would come along and kill the Mars. The Tidehunter mid isn't going to rotate on the Mars and kill him. So like this extra vision that you got here, this is basically for you to just see the Ogre walking down this path. Mars isn't benefited at all by this observer ward here. Like he already sees the lane here, so all he's seeing is kind of like this L shape, which he didn't really worry about anyway. And this sentry ward here is too far away from the camp that you don't see the D ward over here in this section. So this sentry ward should have really been used to D-ward this, because now you're missing this chance to pull. So at 5:14, you should have put this ward down before 5 minutes when you got it initially. I thought you got it a little while ago, but even if you didn't, put this ward down, D-ward it, and now you need to start pulling this hard camp out to the side, because the more this lane pulls into the tower, or pushes into the tower, the better it is for the Slark. And this is just really not going great for you guys. There's a lot of things that you guys could be doing just like a little differently that would make it much harder for the Slark, but you're giving Slark kind of a chance, and the Ogre really, because the Ogre is doing great on the pulse. I think Ogre has pulled this 2 or 3 times, and that's really helping the Slark sort of regain more than he should have. Okay. Where's your camera? Okay. So again, you're just hanging out, you're just leeching XP, nothing's happening. Ogre's here, that's great that you see him.
Of you acts like this.
Yep, he misses his spear, that's great. I think you'd have 2 more kills if the Mars would stop screwing up his spears. There'd be a few more kills in the lane. At least 1 more, maybe 2. Is that within range of your sentry? That's a shame. So I don't know if you saw that. I'm on free camera, that's why I'm not seeing what you're doing. Free deny right there. With this deny, in case Mars doesn't. Okay, he did get it. Okay, good nuke. Keep those creeps out of range. Okay, so that was a slight mistake there. So what happened was the creeps are starting to push in. That's great. So right here, you guys missed that deny. No one goes for it. You nuke the Slark, and then the problem here is you start running away from these creeps. And I understand that like you're scared of the Slark, pouncing you or something. If that happens, you and Mars both being level 4 against the level 4 Slark, and the Ogre's not in immediate vision, that would go okay for you. The problem is the tower attack range is something like what, this maybe, and so if you run back too far, you're going to let these creeps get into the attack range, and then that pushes. This spot right here is perfect, and you guys want to hold that as much as you can so that the Mars doesn't have to last it under tower, and then the next wave pushes away. But you end up walking. Where's the play button? You end up walking in just too far that you drag some of these creeps in. So you're at 100% life. You haven't been taking any damage. You haven't bought a second set of tangos or a salve. And you haven't needed to. You've been, basically unharassed this entire game. So you can take a tiny little bit of damage like that and go ahead and tank up, 2 hits from a melee creep so that the wave doesn't overpush. All right, no more clarities coming out. You should have more clarities on the way. At least 1 mango or clarity, just so you have emergency cold feet mana. But looks like you're saving to go straight for Arcane Boots, which is a little bit greedy. Just a smidge. The Ogre is going to cast a lot of spells. The Slark is going to be casting a lot of spells. A Magic Wand would have been good. 1 more Clarity, maybe 2 would have been good. So you don't have Cold Feet for this. So even if Mars lands a perfect stun there somehow, then you don't have the Cold Feet to help him. So you should have at least 1 mango. Especially if the kill depends on you stacking your stun on top of Mars's stun. Okay, so that mana usage on the Ogre, again, complete waste. So you wasted, basically 33% of your remaining mana, and Ogre dropped down to 780 maybe, and he's going to regen that in the next 5 to 10 seconds. So basically didn't hurt the Ogre at all. Ogre is going to be back up to full right about now. Okay. Harass on the Slark is good. Unfortunately, didn't have a cold feet for the stun. And again, that's a mango thing. So if you hadn't been saving 475 up for this Arcane Boots, then you'd have a stun and a kill there. It is extremely greedy to go straight for Arcane Boots. No Trinks, no Wand, no nothing like that. Just Arcanes and that's it. It's not a versatile build. In this case, it may be hurting you. You're not taking any harass, which makes the Trinks, not a good purchase, but that's fine. All right, so now we're rotating mid. Mid player is running around ganking, so say laning phase is over here. We'll jump to P2.